In this video, I want to show you how I automated the CRM for an agency, and by automating the CRM, I mean the whole lead management. So you don't have to update the leads manually, put them in a different lead status, like update a custom field, all of that. So you can focus on actually nurturing and closing these leads. So by the end of this video, you will know exactly how to do this for your agency using Claude and N8N. So let's dive in. So we are going to follow 3 easy steps. First, we're going to set up the foundation. That includes creating the basic custom fields, the labels, the lead statuses, all of that. Depending on what CRM you're using, it doesn't matter. I'm going to use ClickUp for the sake of this video, but you can do the same thing if you're using money.com, ClickUp, HubSpot, Close CRM, whatever you're using. In step number 2, we're going to define the rules. That includes 3 things: the entry, the exit, and the timing. That means what are the conditions that need to be met to qualify a lead to get into, let's say, a lead status, to make them warm or hot, and for how long they stay in that condition so they can exit that and, let's say, become warm again or cold. So that is the timing. So this is the second step we're going to follow to define the rules. And in step number 3, we're actually going to build all these automations using N8N and Claude. The reason why I'm saying using Claude as well is because you don't have to know how to use N8N. And that's the beautiful thing about this video, because I've recorded different videos for N8N templates and how to use it and all of that. And in my last video, I talked about how Claude is just a tool if you don't know how to use it to build workflows that actually automate stuff. The reason why it's very important is because you don't want your team to spend more time managing the CRM and moving leads around and labeling them, adding tags, updating custom fields, all of that, when in reality they have to focus on actually emailing them, texting them, calling them, closing them, all of that. So this is literally wasted time. You can automate end to end. Now, the complexity of how in depth you will go with these custom fields and lead statuses, you can go crazy with how fancy you can make it. But this is the part where you have to remember what Alex Ramosi says about simple scales, fancy fails. And that's because the complexity, let's say, that you will add to your CRM is directly dependent on the number of people you have on your team, right? So the more people you have on the team, the more room you have, let's say, to add more details, let's say, to your CRM, more custom fields and make it more custom. But my recommendation is that the less people you have on the team, the more simple you have to keep it, and keep that in mind, because otherwise you'll be super overwhelmed and you will forget really fast what are the different custom fields that you have and how the CRM is structured. So imagine if you can't remember how your CRM is structured, then it's gonna be a mess, and you're gonna end up wasting time, and you're gonna be super unproductive and inefficient. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to imagine that I have an agency that is called Highline Collective. I just asked Claude to give me a name for that. So we're gonna pretend that we have an agency for that, and I'm using ClickUp. I made a new ClickUp workspace so I can show you exactly how would that look like. So here I'm gonna show you visually the steps I'm gonna go through. Okay, so we have 3 easy steps. So the first step is to set up the foundation, and this is where you have to figure out the labels, the stages, and the custom fields. And like I said before, you have to keep it simple. Now, the stages is, some softwares call that lead status, others call it status alone, like ClickUp, for example. But you get the point, right? We have new lead, we have discovery, for example, proposal, won, lost, and whatever stages in between maybe your business has, but again, keep it simple. Then we have custom fields. Custom fields depends on your business, obviously. For the sake of example, we have service interest, retainer size, lead source, discovery call date, and agency fit score. And then we have labels and tags, which is called warm, hot, client, ghosted, nurture, and high ticket. And this is a pro tip that I've added here, which is don't over engineer. I said it earlier. So the less people you have on the team, and even more importantly, the less people that you have involved in this process, the more simple you have to make it. Otherwise, you're going to be overwhelmed. So if you can't explain a field in one sentence and why you need it, then you don't need it yet. Okay, so that's the first step. The second step is to define the rules. That includes entry, exit, and timing conditions. So for example, which lead qualifies to be considered warm, right? Entry, for example, visited our checkout page or replied to our newsletter. And exit, when do they get out of the CRM? For example, if you try to contact them for 14 days or 30 days and they don't respond and they ghost you, now you can consider them cold. So they exit the lead status called warm, for example, moves back to cold. Timing, for how long, how often do you check, right? So this is the different conditions, okay? Hot, entry, exit, timing, same thing. So I'm not gonna go through these details right now. Ghosted, right? No reply in 7 days after proposal is sent. So we can let's say count it as lost. So that hopefully makes sense. And the last step is where we actually build automation. So another thing that I see very often is that owners are trying to build automation themselves on like one by one, a very scattered way. So let me build this little automation, build that automation. But here's the thing. If you don't have full clarity of how your operations are running from the foundational level, then it's very likely that whatever you build is going to be irrelevant very, very fast, and you have to change it again. So you'll end up like engineering your automations all the time instead of focusing on actually closing clients. Okay, so this is why you have to go from the foundational level, and that's why this is a perfect example to show you how I would do this and how I did it for an agency, basically starting from the foundation. Otherwise, if you do the opposite, then you'll try to build unnecessary automations. We're gonna use Claude to create the automations, and we're gonna run them within n8n. So you don't have to create them in n8n. I'll show you in a second. Okay, so here we have Claude is going to be the brain. n8n is going to be the orchestrator where the workflows will live in. CRM is whatever trigger, and actions are basically back into the CRM. Okay, for example, update the tag, move stage, notify, whatever. So the build order is going to be call to warm automation, warp to hot automation, ghost, all that. So these are different, let's say, automations to build. So we're going to build them one at a time, and then we're going to move forward. So here we have our new ClickUp space, which is Highline Collective, and this is our CRM. So the first step is to set up the foundations. I'm going to do this in ClickUp. So in order to create the pipeline stages, the custom fields, and the labels and tags. Now, if that's not relevant for you, you can skip to the next chapter, but I'm gonna record this for the sake of some agencies maybe using ClickUp, or you wanna get into ClickUp, and if you're not in ClickUp, I'm gonna put the link down in the description so you can make an account and start using it. So let's dive in. So we have this list here. I renamed it as CRM. Then we're gonna create this statuses. The statuses basically are these things here, so the pipeline stages. We're gonna use these things. So the first thing is gonna be new lead. Okay, so when we're gonna go custom statuses, so we're gonna name it new lead. Then we have the active ones, discovery. We have discovery, we have proposal, and then won and lost. We have proposal, and then we have won, and let's put this lost. Let's make it red, save. Okay, apply changes, done. So the next one is to create the custom fields. So for that, I'm gonna go to, let's go here, create new. So we have service, interest, SEO, paid, content, and the web. I guess this is like kind of the type of service. So we're gonna add a drop down. Okay, I'm gonna add a drop down, maybe it's a label or whatever. So we're gonna call it again service interest. Okay, so that's gonna be SEO. I guess this is paid ads. Then we have web and then content. Okay, done. Create. All right, I'm going to remove these things because I don't need them. Hide. And again, these are leads, so I'm gonna delete these two. Pardon my ADHD. Service interest. Okay, we have the first custom field. Then let's add the retainer size. Here, it's gonna be, I think it's called currency or money. Okay, retainer size. Then we have lead source, referral, inbound, and outbound. Okay, I guess you have more than that, different platforms or different channels, but let's stick to what we have there for the example. Lead source, inbound, outbound, and referral. I'm gonna make it yellow. For some reason, I always make referral yellow in all the CRMs I've done before. Create, discovery call date, create new, we're gonna go date. Okay, and that's discovery call. So we have that. And the last one is agency fit score. Okay, let's go here and we're gonna add, okay, let's do number, and it's called a lead, or what's it called? Agency fit score. Agency fit score. Create. Finally, we have it. Okay, so now we're gonna add the labels and tags. So this is gonna be cold, warm, hot, client, ghosted, nurture, high ticket. Like I would probably keep these 6. So let's make these labels. So we're gonna add one more drop down here, drop down, and here we're gonna call it lead status. I like lead status. So here we have cold. Let's give it blue because cold is cold. Warm, and then let's do hot. Then we have client, ghosted, whatever. What else? Nurture, create. Okay, so we have that. I'm gonna drag it in the beginning. Okay, so we have everything. So we're done with setting up the foundation. Let's go into step number 2. In step number 2, we have to define the rules. Now at this point here, if you haven't noticed already, I generated all these like all this dummy data here using Claude. So I didn't do this myself. I did this in real for the agency that I'm talking about. So I'm gonna follow through this example. So this is actually something you do once and then you forget. So we don't have to do something here necessarily. So we're going to, and we should have more by the way for warm, hot, and ghosted. So this is the part where you have to really make it clear for your leads when they become warm, when they become hot. So for example, if they submit a form to your website, they become warm. If they respond to your email, newsletter, or cold email campaign, then they become warm right away. This is what I'm using by the way. If you have a referral lead, probably they're gonna be hot for 7 days or 14 days. So this is what I mean, right? Nurture is gonna be maybe people you had on a call, but they didn't close and they still need more information and whatnot. So they're gonna put into nurture, ghosted, self-explanatory, and so on and so forth. So let's actually start building this automation. So I'm gonna take a screenshot here of what are the foundations that we have and the labels and all that. And I'm gonna take a screenshot of that. And then I'm gonna go here into Claude. I made a custom project here for operations and automations for this video. You can do the same if you want. So I'm giving it the screenshot and I'm saying, hey Claude, so I'm giving you a screenshot of the foundations and the different labels and lead status that I have for my ClickUp workspace. This is my CRM list. And I want you to read it to understand the lead statuses, the custom fields that I have, and the labels tags that exist as well. The labels tags, by the way, I made them also as a custom field, a drop down. So I want you to understand it. Then I'm gonna give you the conditions for when a lead is considered cold, warm, or hot. And then I want your help to build these automations in n8n one by one. And I'll give you also the list of automations you have to build. So you don't have to tell me what automations we'll be building. I'll be telling you that, and one by one we'll be tackling them with your help and n8n. So let's see if that catches that. I mean the n8n, because I always will tackle them together with your help and n8n. Okay, so we have that, and let me also take a screenshot of the rules. Actually, let's take everything. So we're gonna give it the rules here. And I'm gonna give it also the build order here. So what's probably gonna happen is gonna ask me for, you know, all these APIs and access to all these things. Okay, so I gave you also the different conditions and the build order for the different automations you have to create. So read all the screenshots that I gave you and tell me what you understand from that. And let's start from the first automation. But don't build anything yet. I want you to tell me if you get everything, if you understand everything, and tell me when you're ready to start. Okay, let's see how that will work. So I'm gonna start this and let's see what it gives us. Okay, so it reads the screenshot, foundation, pipeline stages, lead statuses, all of that, custom fields, labels, which you've set up as a drop-down custom field. Okay, screenshot 2, the rules, all of that, entry, exit, timing. So it reads the screenshots that I gave it one at a time. Before I'm ready to start, a few clarifying questions. So that's very normal. It's gonna ask us questions. The warm entry condition is visited pricing page or reply to the email. Okay, so here you have to basically answer all these questions. It's gonna happen all the time. For example, here, it's gonna happen all the time. Let's do it once, and from there, I'll be pausing the video because it's gonna take forever to respond to these questions. So pricing page visit, how are you tracking these? Google Analytics tracking like webhook from your site, form submission. Okay, so for the first one is a webhook from my website. So when I submit the form, it fires a webhook and I'm capturing that, and that's how I know they submit the form. Forget about the page visit. Let's say submit the form. The second one, reply email, I'm using Gmail. ClickUp API, I have ClickUp API access, so no worries for that. And the temperature drop-down field, yes, so I'm gonna give you all the field IDs for all the custom fields below. Okay, so this is, like I said before, pretty standard. So it's asking now for all the field IDs for the different custom fields that we have in ClickUp. Now to get these, if you don't know this already, you have to go here into ClickUp, you go custom fields, and here you have all the custom fields that we created. Okay, so we have, I don't know what it needs, but I'm gonna give it all of it. So lead source, copy field ID, lead source here. Then we have lead status. And by the way, all of these things, I'm not sure we will actually use them here in the example, but I want you to understand the philosophy that I'm following here. Retainer size. Because obviously, if you, in a real scenario, you will know everything, every detail, so you can follow the same process, but the process is exactly the same. To give an example for what I did in the real example, we had a bunch of conditions, and over time, Claude helped me put all of these things together, and it was much easier to put all of them together, and Claude will know which automation to build first, so it doesn't overlap and you don't end up wasting time. So you don't have to like get all these headaches for which one to build first and how. So even if you know how to use n8n, I know how to use it, but even if you don't know it, Claude is going to help you for that. So discovery call date, discovery call date, and this is the field ID. So that's everything, and I'm gonna shoot that and let's see what happens. Okay, cold, warm, trigger sources, from cold to warm, website from submission, webhook fires to n8n, Gmail reply, find the lead in ClickUp CRM list. So for example, here's what it says. So if somebody responds to the email, it might be something irrelevant, right? So you don't want every single response to your email to go into your CRM. So what I would do, and probably this is what Claude is recommending as well, because having a read through, is you get a response from an email, and then you have an automation that checks using that email address if it exists already in your CRM, and then if it does, then follow the automation, right? But you can do all these rules. You can ask Claude to help you with that. So find the lead in ClickUp CRM list, update the lead status custom field from cold to warm, only update if the lead is currently tagged cold. We don't want to downgrade a hot lead to warm. A few more things I need before building ClickUp API token list. I have it already. I'll need your personal API token. You'll add this as a credential in the end. I'll paste in the chat. Your share list ID, lead status drop down. Now to get the API from ClickUp, you have to go here into settings. And here you go to ClickUp API, and here you have to copy this token, but I have it already, so you have to basically regenerate if you don't see it. So you click regenerate, you put the password here, and then you confirm the password, and now you have the token, and I can copy that. So what it says is we need the ClickUp API, so we got that. We have the list ID from the CRM, we have that too. And here it needs the lead status drop down option. So it needs the ID for every single option that we have in the drop down. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually demonstrate how you can build a workflow in n8n. So I'm gonna say, can you create a JSON file to import to n8n for this one-time workflow to give me all the custom field options drop down, so I can give you the UUID. So I can give you the output here, and you can get all these UUIDs. Okay, so I'm basically asking it to create a workflow for me. So good idea, and then we'll start building the automation. And let's continue while it's doing it. So the next one is, so this is where we're at now. The second one, then we have the website form. Where data does it send? Okay, it finished the automation, the workflow. Here, send me an example, JSON payload if you have one. Okay, I don't have an example JSON payload. This is a test for a YouTube video, so I want you to come up with these things yourself for an example. So let's keep it simple. So give me the JSON payload yourself. It's a complete test demo. I don't have a real website or a webhook right now. So yeah, if you can give me these things, that will be easier. And for the last one, if somebody submits a form that is not in ClickUp yet, I want you to create this lead into ClickUp and make them warm right away. Okay, once you send me the list ID. Okay, so let's send that, and here I'm gonna download that. All right, perfect. And here I'm gonna create the first workflow. So I'm gonna go create. We have a new workflow, and here's how easy it is. I'm gonna go import from file. I'm gonna search for ClickUp, and there it is. So I wouldn't do this way, to be honest, but that works as well. Predefine credential type, change it to generic credential type. Okay, so I'm gonna go generic. I'm gonna go, I think basic, it said, or header. Header. Here I'm gonna create a new one, create new credential, name it exactly like this. So I'm gonna name it name. This is a header name. I'm gonna put here. This is for, let's call it for ClickUp demo. And then we have the API. Okay, I'm dropping it here and I'm gonna save it. That worked, hopefully. And here I'm gonna run it again. And there, it worked. So so we have everything, and I'm gonna go here, edit, and I'm gonna copy all of that, and I'm gonna go to Claude. I'm gonna say, okay, thank you, it worked. I'm giving you all the custom field IDs. Okay, so we forgot we forgot to run the last node here. I guess there will be a reason for that. So I'm gonna run this thing, extract drop down options. So here, I guess this is better. Again, like I said before, there should be a reason for that. Okay, and here I'm gonna go here and paste it. So I'm gonna send it. Okay, so just like that, we built before workflow. Save it here, but this is a one-time thing, so we don't need that workflow actually. Fetch custom field options one time. Okay, so now it reads everything. It can see every single custom field, every single field ID. Two things I noticed: you're missing some tags, all of that. Okay, we don't care because I think we didn't create a high ticket. Okay, doesn't matter. Ready to build automation 1. Okay, so now it's gonna build this. Test payload will use on camera demo. Okay, so that's great. When we build it now, just reply go, go, and now we will build the first automation here. And I forgot to say, and I'll say it after this, this is how I like to do this. I say, give me the list of all the automations you have to build as a to-do checklist, and one by one we'll be crossing them off. It's just like easier for me to navigate all of that. So quick note, we'll build this in 2 phases. Webhook triggered for submission. We do this first since it's simpler, and then Gmail trigger. So now it's gonna build these 2 automations one by one. So it's building it now, and we'll get the JSON here on the right side, and then we'll download it and import it to n8n, and we'll take it from there. Done. Okay, so that's perfect. So we have the workflow overview. I have no idea how it built it, I mean the structure, but we'll figure it out now. So it says import the workflow. It even tells you how exactly to do that, which even if you don't know, I know how to do that. So you can ask for whatever you want. So I will download the workflow now. Let's skip through these things, but you can read them. You should read them because it gives you some important information. So it tells you how to set it up once you put it there, expected results. It gives you some options, sometimes asks you questions, built in end-to-end test, easiest, no extra tools. Okay, so I downloaded the automation, call to warm, and I'm gonna go to ClickUp again. I'm gonna go to the folder we have here, create a new one like before, import from file, cold to warm, enter. Here it is. And here I believe we have a test or no, let's see. And here what we have to do is we have to select the credential from before. It should say it somewhere here. So you have 3 HTTP request nodes that call ClickUp. Each needs the credential linked. So for each of these nodes, and it knows the name, get all leads from ClickUp, get all leads from ClickUp, update status to warm, here and here. So I have to go here one by one and just change this to the credential we created earlier. So that's done. And we should be good, but let me check what is the form submission webhook that it gave me. It should be somewhere here. Built-in, listen for test event, open a terminal. Okay, so it says that it has, I should click for, okay, so to run a test, I should replace your test. Okay, so let me go here and I'll run it. So lead form submission. So I'm gonna go test URL. I'm gonna copy that. I'm gonna listen for a test event, and then I'm gonna let's put this here. Okay, so I need this, and I need to put it. Where is it? Post your test URL. I need it here. Okay, and then I take the whole thing and I go to the terminal and I run it. We're started. Command not found. Why not found? So URL body row JSON. Okay, so here it says that we can run it from this command, but I don't need this command. So what I'm gonna do is gonna copy this. I think it gave me that earlier. Test payload will use. Okay, so I'm gonna copy that. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna paste the payload that we have. So this is what we would get in a real scenario. We have the payload here, and now we can run the automation. So what we expect here to happen is, I don't even remember, to be honest. So actually, let's ask Claude for that. So the automation is ready in init. Can you remind me, what are we testing for right now? What is the automation we're testing? Okay, cold to warm, the goal when someone submits a form, scenarios to test. Okay, so we have 3 scenarios, okay? So it's one automation, so brand new person, doesn't exist in ClickUp. Then we have existing cold lead, they were cold, now they fill the form, warming them up. And we have existing non-cold lead, already hot or client. So can you give me the payload for the webhook for all these scenarios, and I'll be adding them to ClickUp myself for those that already exist in ClickUp. So all of that is for the sake of this demo, but I'm also showing you how I would use Claude for anything for that matter. So now it gives me the payload. So let's go back here. So in this scenario, it will check ClickUp to see if we have this lead. So we have here Sarah Johnson, this is the email. So let's run it. Okay, so we got an error here, and let's see what happened. Check your parameter, task name invalid. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take a screenshot like before, and I'm gonna say, okay, I got this error. Can you tell me what should happen to fix it, and give me the instructions for how to fix it. This is a bug in my workflow design, not a setup issue on your end. Okay, so it says that it messed it up. How to fix it? Open the node, click on get all leads from ClickUp. Okay, we're there. Change method drop down says post, so I should change it to get here. Okay, so it should be good now, it says. So let's run it again. Okay, it worked. So it creates a new lead and done. Let's go back into our CRM. There. So we even have the lead status, service interest, and lead source. So it's inbound because they supposedly submitted a form. They have put somewhere in the form that they need SEO, and warm is by default because they just submit the form. We have none of these things, but we can create them later. So that's pretty cool. So let's go back and say, okay, it worked. Now we're gonna run the different scenario. So I have a lead. It's called John Smith, and I want you to give me a webhook payload to give to my webhook as an example, and run it to see for an existing cold lead if it will mark it as warm. Okay, and I'm doing this because I don't want to add like a new lead right now. So I have John Smith, and let's say that this is cold. Okay, this is the example, and we will see if this lead will become warm from the automation. So I gave it that. Let's go enter. Now it'll give me a payload. Okay, so there's no email here. Let's take the email, but I'm not sure if we have an email here. So that's pretty basic. Okay, so it added, you see for Sarah, it added all the information here. So I'm gonna go here in the description. I'm gonna put the email here. The description contains the email. It's john@example.com. So give me the payload for the webhook for that. Okay, so the email, I guess, could be or should have been a custom field, obviously. But okay, so it gives me now the payload. Again, this is just for the example. So I'm gonna copy that. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go to the webhook node, edit, paste, save. Okay, so supposedly John Smith submit the form while being a cold lead. So imagine John being a lead from last year and he is coming back. So that's what I'm gonna test now. So, okay, so you see lead exists, went up, and it said skip, not cold. Is it cold? But it is cold. Let's see. True. What happened here? Get all leads from ClickUp. 1, 2, John Smith, new lead. So apparently it didn't see that it's cold. Okay, the issue is here, check if lead exists. So let's go here and type cold just to find where it is. And I'm gonna say is currently cold. That should have been true. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a screenshot of that, and I'm gonna say, here's a screenshot. Okay, so it seems there's a mistake in the code node. So this lead that exists already was cold, but the code didn't catch it. So I'm giving you a screenshot to see what went wrong, and please give me the updated code node to put in NNN, and so it works the next time. So it should be able to see how far or where exactly it is. So let's see if it catches that. One went wrong. So was found, the lead was found, the correct task, the name was correct. Why the status came back as null. The fixed code. Let's see. So you have to scroll down to see if it tells you anything else. How to replace the code. So we have to go, okay, so it gives you literally everything you have to do. So you have to go here, Command A, replace it, new code, let's run it. So this one should say currently cold, yes, or true. Here, currently cold, true, perfect. So let's run it again. There, okay, so if we go to the CRM, boom, lead status from cold to warm. And this is how you build all these automations slowly but steadily. And if I go back and I say, for example, perfect, it worked. Please give me a list of all the automations we want to build as a checklist to do with checkboxes. And one by one, I'll be telling you done. You'll be crossing them off. You'll be moving to the next automation. Because I tend to forget. And then in the end, it's also cool. What you have to do, what you can do is you can ask for a visual breakdown of how the CRM works. So you can see here, for example, CRM automations build checklist. We did this, and then we're gonna go to the next one. So warm to hot. Let's do one more, and then we'll wrap it up. So here it says, before we build this, there are 3 questions. Let's do this. Okay. So the Book discovery call is through Calendly. So again, I want you to give me a webhook, demo payload for an example, because I'm not gonna book a call right now. Requested proposal detected. So we're gonna, for the second one, we will have a tag in ClickUp. So when somebody requests a proposal, we're gonna tag them in the task, and that should trigger the automation that they requested a proposal. And the third one, only if the lead is cold or warm, becomes hot. And yes, we don't want the client to become hot again for no reason. And it has more questions. Use ClickUp native tags. You add proposal request for tag to trigger the automation. So for the first one, yes, confirmed. I'm gonna use the native tag in ClickUp. So I'm gonna do exactly what you said for proposal dash requested. Webhooks enabled for trigger B to work, and then needs to register webhook with ClickUp. Requires the API token. Yes, I'm okay with that. And for Joe Smith, who is already warm from our last test, yes, I'll use him as a test lead, so I'll mark him as hot. Actually, we don't need him hot because he's already warm. I'm gonna test this right away. Perfect, all confirmed. Let me build automation. Create a tag called proposal requested. So I'm gonna go here, here. Oops, P proposal requested. Okay, so let me remove that because we now have it. Add it to John Smith's task to trigger the automation, but not yet because we don't have the workflow yet. So here that's done. So in a real scenario, I'm not sure where this is. Delete. So in the real scenario, we would publish this workflow and we would go to the next one. You see automation 1, go back here, and let's wait for this to create a JSON. Okay, it seems that it's done. Workflow overview. Okay, I don't care, we'll do this later. Okay, I'll take it from here, download. It's called warm to hot automation. So I'm here, create a workflow, like before, import from file, warm to hot, there it is, that's a big one. And here we're gonna select our credential, everywhere, here, ClickUp demo, and here, ClickUp demo. So let's see what it says, because in the testing, it's giving you different stuff. So real quick, I'm gonna go through it. So it says, okay, we saw that, the workflow overview, setup instructions. So here, I should get the ClickUp webhook tag added. So I should get a test URL, but in the real scenario, you would have to get the production URL and then run it and then publish the workflow so you can have it in a real scenario. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna give it the ClickUp token because I don't want to tell me over time, replace this with that because it's very boring. So what I'm gonna do now, you shouldn't do this because you shouldn't give the API to Claude. Hey Claude, so I'm giving you the ClickUp API. Don't worry if you use it, it's for a test. I will revoke it later. So, and I'm also gonna give you the webhook test URL so you can give me the exact command without me having to change it before I run it. Okay, so I'm telling it because if you give it the API, it won't do this because it will say it's not safe. So I gave it the API, and then I'm gonna go here, take the test URL. Here's the test URL. Give me the command to run it in the terminal so we can build these webhooks. Okay, so it's telling me to revoke it. So I'm taking this, going to the terminal, and I run it. Okay, so it's run it. Okay, I forgot this. Listen for test event. Okay, I forgot about this. They're right. Listen for test event, and now I should run it here. Actually, I think it should be working. Let me try this. So it's listening for test event. If I go here and I add a tag, proposal requested, there, it worked. So I got confused a little bit. So now with that, this part, what it should do, it should mark John Smith as hot. So I'll run the whole. Okay, so that's my bad. So let me go back here copy to editor. Let me bring it back so it's pinned. But as you saw, you don't even need to know how to create a webhook in ClickUp. So you can just ask Claude. It will tell you to run a command in terminal, which I know nothing about, by the way, and it's way faster to do that. And I tested it and it works right now while recording this video. So I'm not sure why I don't see these nodes running, which is a little frustrating. So let me unpin this. Let me refresh the page. And then I will go back and I will remove this, and now I will listen for a test event, and I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna add a tag again, and now it should run there. So now I'm gonna pin that and I'm gonna say execute workflow. So now it's running finally. Okay, so we have that, and this is the part that we're missing now because we don't have the other part. So here let's see how. Okay, so the one part from ClickUp will run. I need the other part. So can you give me the example payload from Calendly to test the automation? Okay, because I don't want to like create webhooks in Calendly now, so I'm asking it an example. Before you run it, okay, Calendly webhook test command. Before you fire it, I'm not sure, I don't know why we need that, to be honest, but let's see. Calendly webhook test command, copy paste. Okay, so warm hot, click the Calendly webhook discovery node, listening for test event. Okay, so I have to go here, listening for test event, and then I have to go to my terminal and run whatever it gave me, and I think it worked. Okay, perfect, there it is. So I'm gonna pin that, and now that we have all of these things, I'm going to execute the workflow. So here we have to take a screenshot as again one more time and say, okay, so it seems that the merger is not set up correctly because it doesn't continue after that from the Calendly workflow. So let me know what I should change here in order for this to work. Okay, let's send it. So basically we have two workflows into one. Okay, so these are different workflows, different triggers. So we don't need both for this to run. So what's wrong? Looking at your screenshot. Okay, how to fix, setting, mode, change branch, choose branch, append. So here I have to go here and mode, I should click append, number of inputs, keep 2. And now it says that it should work. Rerun. Let's go back here, run the whole thing. There. Update status to hot if from Calendly. What is this? Undefined. Okay, let's go here. We got this error. Okay, so we got this error in the last if node. Tell me what I have to change for this to work. Apparently doesn't see that the execution comes from Calendly, probably because we use some test data. So tell me how to fix it. Okay, so I'm showing you here how to speak to Claude when you are creating automations. You don't have to know literally anything. It will tell you step by step how to fix it. And that's the beauty of using Claude here with init, because now I'm building a workflow. I'm not just using it as a tool. So if so, look, it says open the if from Calendly, which is this one, and it says currently shows this. Change it to this. So I should go here, and if it gets green, now it works. So let's rerun it, and now it should work, and it should mark him as hot. Escape, not cold, warm. Oh, it did it already before. So let's mark him as warm because it worked before. So we'll mark him as warm, and we're gonna go here, and we are gonna do okay, we're gonna run it here. You see, discovery call date. So now it marked him as hot, and discovery call date is, I don't know when, 2nd of May. So let's do something similar with the other lead. Let's do this for Sarah. So we will, or actually we'll do this for John. So we'll remove the tag. We're gonna mark him warm again. Forget about the actually leave it as is. And we are going to here unpin it, execute workflow. Now it's listening for a test event here, and I'm going to add the tag here to John Smith, proposal requested. And here it should run there. Okay, perfect. Status to hot, from Calendly no, and there. So it's hot, done. So to summarize slowly, you see how I'm building workflows with Claude and N8N. And like I said before, to be honest, it's much easier when you do this in a real environment, because now I have to come up with test examples, test payload, here, this and that. So I have to come up with like fake data and processes. But when you do this in a real scenario, it's gonna be much easier if you follow this thing. So all you need is N8N subscription. Obviously, you need Claude, and then you need whatever software you're using. So don't be afraid if you use something else, like let's say Monday.com or Claude CRM or go high level. Just tell it, and it will tell you what to do. So if I go here and I say done, I complete this workflow as well, cross it off and give me the next one. So this is how I did that as well myself. So it's gonna be super simple and easy and fast. And it's, like I said before, I did this faster than what I'm recording with this video. Ghosted detector up next. So I'm not gonna do this automation, but you get the point. One by one, you cross them off. But here's the thing to summarize. If you don't have full clarity on these things, on the foundations, on the rules, then you will not know what exactly you need. So this will help you, and Claude will help you identify what are the automations you need. And sometimes Claude will ask you, what happens then? What happens in this scenario? And then you're gonna say, oh, I didn't think about that. Let me add this to the automation I have to build. And then you can ask Claude, say, add this to the automation list, and I'll build this later. So that's how you can automate your CRM for regardless of what software you're using. I hope that was helpful. I know that was a bit of a longer video, but if you found it helpful, give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss any other future video, and I'll see you in the next one.